Welcome back to Fight Night.
So just in that Katz goes the Warlock. Seems like he does like the idea of Leroy versus Leroy.
Who wouldn't? That's the gamble I like. Just the 50-50 straight up. Let's see who draws better. Let's see who is more willing. It's like a big game of chicken. And like I feel like it's usually a good sign for you. I feel like the person who's willing to go into the coin flip is better than the person who is forced upon the coin flip.
All right, we're talking poker here. Yeah. I don't think it's quite the same game, but all right.
It's similar principles apply.
You get the cards and stuff, and someone wins in the end. And in this case, there's money as well, right?
Yeah, it's just like poker.
Yeah. Now, we do see the double Doom Guard from Katz, and how do you see that in this matchup versus the two Argent Commanders? That's really the only main difference that I see.
This is where I think that the way that the game ends up panning out is so huge. Argent Commander, if it turns into a board control game, can be an absolute monster. And the other way around, if the game turns into like one player trying to recover the match versus the other player just relentlessly punching their face, I feel like Argent Commander can really shine in that scenario as well, because it's just like so inefficient to kill him almost.
So basically, you guys are gonna get 05'd?
I really hope not.
Okay.
But dreams do come true.
All right.
I can't imagine not coining the juggler here.
Well, the juggler's gonna die to a doggy, I believe.
That seems like a reasonable play as well. If you drew Mortal Coil here, would that change your play?
Yeah, I think I like having the squire by itself rather than doggy by itself.
The thing I'm looking at as well is, like, say he draws Mortal Coil, he can actually just
attack face.
Yeah, he can just attack the face and play the Young Priestess, and then the Young Priestess will buff the 1/4, and then the juggler hit now is dependent. Like, whatever happens dictates like how you're gonna get Mortal Coiled. Like, do you have a 1/3 or do you have a 1/1? Or then sometimes does it even just hit your face? And now in this spot, you got to be wondering if you go for face or if you trade as well.
I think you go for face here.
Okay, this is the initial risk in the matchup. I think is because now that he's decided to go for face, if his opponent has like Shattered Sun Cleric or like
Which he does.
Yeah, going into that position, this could be.
Oh, it's on the doggy.
That's probably the worst place for it to go.
That's easily the worst place for it to go. Oh, it's the Mortal Coil.
It's a Mortal Coil as well. This is a tough turn. I'm pretty sure you have to Shattered Sun Cleric.
Shattered Sun, yeah.
It's just so good. It's going to get traded away by the
shield.
By the Abusive Sergeant?
No, it's going to get killed by the shield.
Well, there's not going to be a dog anymore after that.
Yeah, but it's only going to have 1 life on the doggy. Oh, you mean the Shattered Sun?
Yeah, you Shattered Suns into the 3/3.
I was thinking about the leftover doggy points. Oh, doggy beats doggy. Someone has to win.
Dog eat dog.
I mean, there's really not much strategy in this match, is there? I mean, you talk about like going face and all that, but
there's a little bit. It's more sort of, again, it's just like a big game of chicken. It's like the first person to blink and start attacking minions usually ends up falling behind. But sometimes, like when you have like super efficient attacks on minions, that's a different story. It's when you have to attack and your minions only trade as a result. I'd be pretty tough pressed to see him attacking the 3/2 here.
I think he's attacking the 3/2.
More training.
Yeah, I like his play. I like going for the face here because none of the minions that he attacks are efficient for him to attack. So you just have like a huge lead. So Kitkatz is looking at needing like some extreme juggler action here.
So you got juggler, Mortal Coil, squire.
Yeah, this turn could still work out pretty well. I would tend to put the squire on the left because I would want to.
Oh my god.
That is freaking miserable.
That's pretty terrible.
You can see that he is completely emotionally unaffected by it, though. That's not the kind of, he's not an emotional player by any stretch of the means.
I think a lot of people don't expect themselves to be, but they do end up being fairly emotional in this type of scene when, either you're winning by a lot or losing by a lot.
Must cleanse the sun well.
I think we're watching the wrong side of the game.
I fight.
Well, the way it works is right now, Katz is playing, and we can tell by the fact that he has the glowy portrait thingy.
Okay.
And sometimes it gets a little...
I felt like we were mixed. I felt like I was mixed up there for a minute.
Okay. Well, basically on a Warlock versus Warlock matchup, one of the Warlocks is going to come ahead, and Well, it's a 1-1, so one of the players is going to have 2 wins, and they're going to be winning in the match.
Defender of Argus is pretty important here, I think.
Yeah.
I'm curious if you can justify Soulfire, even, in this spot.
This is the part of the game where you play 2 cards a turn and lose 2 life a turn.
Yeah, we're in that phase.
All right.
That's a fun one.
Yeah.
So this is certainly going to be a trade phase. 2-2 to 2-2, 2-2 into 3-2.
I mean, there's not much choice involved, is there?
Now, this is where your choice is. I'm curious if you play the Harvest Golem or the Shield Bearer.
I think you Harvest Golem Shield Bearer.
Yeah. Young Priestess isn't going to get any work done here. I agree with that. And Shield Bearer, of all cards, the neutral mirror image. How do you like that card?
I laugh when I see it in Arena, and then sometimes it's followed by a couple of Flame Tongue Totems.
Or the old double Divine Spirit Innervate.
Oh, God, I don't even want to think about that.
Have you ever been victim of the 32-32 Lightwell?
Not quite that, but I
All right,
think...
so really strong turn from Forsen. Clears the board.
I've been hit by a 40 damage light spawn in an arena.
Wow.
I think it was. If it wasn't 40, it was like 20 something.
That's way too much damage from a Lightwell.
I definitely only took 1 attack. That was the end.
He just has everything.
Oh, Katz has got cards on Forsen, but he doesn't have board, and I think board is more important than cards when they both have 16 life.
I definitely think it's critically important here. I can't imagine not playing Power Overwhelming here. You got to clear that 4/4. Unless he's looking for a way to try to lethal him, which, with a bunch of 1-drops and then Defender of Argus, I don't see happening. 2's quite too soon. Doomguard would enable you. You're looking at a 9, 10, 11 damage on the backswing. And if he hits him here, it'd be at 15, and then from a life tap. So he'd be really low if he ended up drawing Doomguard as opponent life tapped and didn't have any strong minions.
What would you play here? Would you play everything minus the Priestess?
I feel like you power overwhelming.
You can't even do that. You have to do...
Yeah, he's only got access to 4 mana after this. I think you have to power overwhelming into the... I think you have to power into the Dark Iron Dwarfs. There's no question of that. And the question here is how you follow up. So do you Voidwalker Argus... Or do you Voidwalker Priest?
You can't
Voidwalker Argus.
It's Argus by itself, or the other 2. I think you go the other 2.
Wow, and then Priest buffs the dying minion.
Yep. I don't think that actually matters, though.
Is it supposed to happen that way? Because he played them in a different order. Like, are they supposed to go in order of played?
I have seen that many times, so I don't know about supposed to happen a certain way. I've been puzzled by that one before.
Sometimes Alex Straza Savanas just...
Yeah.
Who knows what order the
No, actually, that specific case with Power Overwhelming and the Priestess, I mean, you run into that fairly frequently.
Sure.
I mean, I don't even play Construct, and I've run into it a few times. I've seen that exact scenario, and it really, made me think, what's going on? I couldn't really figure it out.
All right, so what are you looking at here now? It's got Voidwalker, 2/2, 2/2, and 2/1 and 14 life versus 2/1, 1/1, hand of 3 cards and 14 life. Flame Imp's gotta be a not exciting draw at this point.
I think right now you Direwolf and Argus.
Yeah, I feel like Direwolf Argus is really good as well.
And you Argus the Priestess and the Direwolf, or now the Flame Imp. Okay. Yeah.
Drops the thank you on him. The Priestess.
Do a little bit of trading.
This is actually like a pretty good spot now. Wow, and the Priestess buffs the 4/3. Oh. Whoa, my gosh, that is a huge draw.
Oh, that card's pretty good, huh?
Wow. It's almost like we were talking about that one.
Yeah, but I think if we talk about how good a Doomguard might be, we'll see that it's equally good. Oh, no Doomguard.
Not quite this time.
I think we'd be tapping.
Ooh, that's a really strong draw right now. That's going to be board cleared and the old juggler dog versus 1 card in hand.
7 life, though.
Yeah. This is a tough turn. I'm curious what he's thinking about. Is he thinking about attacking the 2/2?
I think you attack the 2/2 before you play the dog 8.
Yeah, I agree. That increases the chance of the 1 damage going. to the face here. Maybe he's contemplating just attacking face and just like risking that his opponent doesn't have 1 point of damage. I don't like that at all.
You Soulfire regardless, I believe.
Okay, so now you Soulfire the 4/2.
Yeah,
You gotta attack the minion here, right?
yeah, that kind of sucked.
Wow.
I think that's a
That
misplay.
is a ballsy play. On the other side of the coin now, though, there's a potential lethal. Those are not the minions you want right now if you're Forsen.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Big plays. Harvest Golem, Shattered Sun, certainly the... Yeah, that's got to run into the... Wait, do you run into the Juggler here? Or
Yeah,
do
you run into the Juggler.
So then you certainly Shattered Sun the 2/3. Do you play the Leper and Shattered Sun the Leper so it can't get Mortal Coiled?
I think you're getting faced anyway, so I think you should just avoid Mortal Coils, yeah.
Must
Yeah.
cleanse the Sunwell.
This is 5 damage coming back at him now. Yeah, so Kitkatz is he's decided to run the gambit.
Alright, well, let's see how it ends.
Mortal Coil. Uh-oh.
Looks like he should have buffed the Leper Gnome as
Yeah,
you
that's
recommended.
that could be troublesome.
Well, do you even do that?
Yeah, I think you got to go for the kill here, because you're dead on the backswing.
Alright. Well, I guess to draw a few more times.
Wow,
That card's pretty good.
that one's all right.
He's going to
if he BMs
BM.
him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, the sorry. All right, that's fair enough. Sometimes you gotta be a jerk and then apologize for it.
I think both players made misplays in that game.
I think there were there's subtle misplays, but misplays nonetheless.
Yeah.
I think both of them are like really excited because the match is playing so fast and perhaps not taking as much time as they should be taking, because those little tiny things end up adding up a lot. Like that's what happened to me a lot in my matches was I'm just hurrying through it. I'm making 3 subtle misplays and that turns into one colossal error that can end up costing you a game.
I don't think the Leper Gnome issue actually cost them the game because I think he was going to tap anyway.
Yeah, the Doomguard's the next draw anyway.
Yeah, so it's difficult to see if it would have actually made any difference at all.
It's a big difference when it's 2 cards down.
Yeah.
But I think earlier in the game when both of them are kind of perhaps trading a little less efficiently than they should, or maybe not even should be trading at all.
I don't know. Game's pretty fun to watch.
I think it was a good one.
Tiny creatures smash into tiny creatures and then go for face eventually.
And then big Doomguards and Argent Commanders.
Well, all the predictions came true. A Warlock won, a team is up 2-1, and one guy's happy, a guy's sad.
That's a bold prediction.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you're happy with the result. Let's see what the players have to say.
On the last one, you should have traded the Argus into his team.
Yeah,
I thought about that so far because
his only out was Leroy.
you're also the same.
I mean, if you have 7 health, you're alive no matter what.
Yeah, and you're also the same because if you draw Leroy or Doomguard, he's the one.
He needs to like run a runner, Leroy Soulfire.
Well, he already had 2 cards in his hand, right?
Because he had overkill.
Yeah,
He had 2 cards, and he was drawing 1, and he has tap, right?
right. Why? Yeah, but you want to play around as much as possible. Like, why let Leroy be a win?
He would have had no
You can just trade and leave a 2-1.
and potentially 1 damage to the face. Like 50/50.
The Doomguard is still your same kill.
It's the same kill.
But
the
I had-
Leroy's still the same kill. Soulfire's still the same thing.
It's the same.
Did I have 2 damage? Did I need 2 damage, or
He had 7 health,
He had
Yeah.
7 health.
and you had
5?
3. You needed 2 damage.
Okay, so my
No matter what-
knife would have hit him.
If you, yes. Okay, listen. You missed 2 damage by trading your guy in. Listen. You missed 2 damage. Your knife has a better chance of hitting him, so then you can gain back 1 damage. But basically the main thing is your 2-1, like, you take away Leroy as an out, and then your juggler lives.
Yep.
Your juggler would have just lived, so
And
you
your
gain
juggler-
back the other 1 damage anyway,
Oh,
and
sure.
plus more damage from the knives.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
Doomguard's
trust me,
still
I thought
out.
about that play. I thought about it,
Doomguard's
and then I was
out.
like,
all your outs would remain
I
the
just want to
same.
hit him for 3.
No,
it's not
it
right.
was an entirely misplay, unfortunately. Right?
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't a misplay. I understood the play. I just
It was wrong.
chose to do that.
Like, you were missing 2 damage, and trading didn't change your outs at all.
That juggle.
Yeah. That juggle.
Although we think you should have killed the 1/1 with your 3/2 Shattered Sun Cleric. Even though you would have lost 3 damage, you would have gotten an extra creature for it. Same turn you juggled. They had 2 Argent Squires, and one of them had a shield, one of them didn't. They were both 1/1.
Yeah.
And you could have used your 3/2 Shattered Sun Cleric to kill the 1/1,
But then
which would have stopped it for trading for one of your other creatures. You would have gotten 2 for 1 with.
But
you
then
lose
I
3
lose,
damage.
yeah, and I open it up for Mortal Coil.
But he can open it up for Mortal Coil.
Yeah, but then I
Already.
lose 3 damage and like. You see what I mean? Like I like it's the same. It's the same.
You're going to
position
be
I'm
open
in.
to Mortal Coil at some point. At some point. I don't know. I think that you should have just taken the extra resource. Hopefully.
I
The
just-
fact that you missed the juggle, though, like if
Yeah.
you had hit the juggle and done that,
Yeah, he had
you win
like
that game.
I don't know 4 1 health
But
guys.
the missed juggle was insane.
Yeah, that was so sick. Like what the? I don't know. This is actually pretty hard now because my
Yeah.
druid is like it's okay, but it's. I'd much rather have won this and then lost the druid and play the druid versus druid.
Yes.
For
Of course.
sure.
Hey guys, I'm with Kitkatz here, who just went up 2-1 against Forsen in a nail-biting match. That last one, Warlock versus Warlock. And about that one, the main difference between your 2 decks was the fact that you play Doom Guards and he plays Argent Commanders. Which one do you think is favored in the mirror?
That is a good question. I have never played the mirror before.
That was your first time playing that mirror?
Yes.
Wow.
I
You
didn't-
were very good to know that you had to kill his minions.
But I think Doomguard is better in every matchup, and I think that it is a mistake that they don't play it. And I think Forsen's using a build that Chalky used in the previous Fight Night card for card, and which is about a month old. I think since then people have learned that Doomguard's a real card.
Kind of a tricky thing to have, like, your teammate used to be on his team and now he's using his bad older decks or something. It's a tricky way to go about it. I want to ask you about how you chose your first deck. You started with Warrior, which was a kind of interesting choice, I thought. Can you just kind of lead us through that? And you got Hunter, so you had to be kind of happy with that.
Well, I was like 95% sure that Forsen was going to start Hunter because he can't afford to just like trade 1 for 1 with me, and like his aggro lock already has a good chance versus Warrior, right? So even if he loses the first game, he can still just turn to that. And I assumed he thinks that's what's going to sweep me. But anyway, the point was that I just knew he was going to play Hunter, and so obviously I played Warrior because it beats it.
All right.
And that's when he looked at me and he was like, and I was like, yeah.
Well, next you're going to have to go up against his Druid deck because this is his last deck left. How do you feel going up against a Druid deck that you don't know what he's going to play? Obviously, he's forced, and he definitely makes some different choices from other people. How do you feel going into that match with this Warlock deck?
Terrified because I'll tell you what, Artosis. You want to know another matchup I've never played?
Warlock versus Druid?
Correct. We actually played this deck specifically to beat Hunter because Hunter is the most dominant deck in the format right now, and there are only 2 decks to beat Hunter: Warrior and Agrolock. And so we assumed that ManaGrind would choose to play Hunter since obviously they understand that it's the best deck. We've talked about it with them. They've stated that it's the best deck, but only one of them, I think, has run Hunter. Or I guess two of them have run Hunter. And so I think we outthought ourselves, and that's really coming back to bite us.
Yeah. All right. Well, best of luck to you in the next match.
Thank you very much.
All right. So I'm here with Forsen, who unfortunately just went down 1-2 in that just nail-biting Warlock versus Warlock match. Has to be a frustrating one for you.
Yeah, it really was. There were some moments like when I missed my knife juggler on like a board full of 1 HP minions. Like that was really frustrating. Yeah.
Yeah, it got down so close in life total at the end. Maybe even killing one of those would have ended up winning you the game. But Warlock versus Warlock, it's kind of a crazy matchup like that. So
yeah, for sure.
Unfortunate there. But I want to go back to game number 1 and what you led with, because you chose to go with Hunter. And unfortunately for you, he opened with Warrior. What was your thought process opening up with Hunter?
I really thought that he would start with either Druid or the Warlock, so I thought that Hunter was a safe bet to play. Unfortunately, he mind-gamed me pretty hard, so he opened up Warrior, and yeah, it went how it went.
Yeah, I actually asked him the same thing, and he was pretty certain that you were going to open Hunter, so I guess
Props
he
to him, yeah.
somehow outthought you on that one.
Yeah.
Okay, so next you have to use Druid, and you have to beat 2 decks. Now, without going into specifics what your Druid deck is all about, does it have what it takes to take down an Aggro Warlock and then whatever type of Druid he's playing?
It's definitely better against Druid, for sure, in Druid Mirror. It can beat the aggro Warlock, but it's not favored at all. So, yeah.
Going to be a tough one, but if you win this game, you think you can close it out then?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, well, best of luck there.
Thanks.
All right, we're about to fire up game number 4. Forsen's down to the Druid deck. How do you feel about the matchup? Druid against Warlock. And I believe they're not so typical with Ancients of Wars, Molten Giants, and Black Knights. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's like this deck looks like it looks like the new Wild Growth ramp Druid that's been kind of floating around.
Okay.
It's like it looks like someone got really frustrated with aggro on ladder and was like, I'm just going to play nothing but big taunts, and things that don't have taunt, I'm going to give them taunt with my 2 Mark of the Wilds. So that way you only can attack my minions.
Well, Mark of the Wild Black Knight is a pretty decent combo if you like to fire that up. But I don't think I've seen this many stars next to a list of cards since Warrior.
It's a bit, yeah, this is another one of the pay-to-win decks.
Whoa!
It looks like.
I'd keep that. Man.
Yeah.
Double Molten Giant. How can you go wrong with that?
I would definitely be keeping double Molten Giant here. But maybe no, not at all.
Okay.
But
all right. I thought no, all right. I was thinking maybe I would just for funsies. I mean,
just
you're forcing. You got to represent your ideals, you know.
if you can't play double Molten Giant, what's even the point?
Yeah.
Wow, a really aggressive start here.
Is there anything better than this? Does this beat out double Flame Imp, you think?
You know what? I don't think it does. I think double Flame Imp is still a little better here.
You think double Flame Imp is like the best right now?
I think double Flame Imp and then follow up with Voidwalker Young Priest. Or even Voidwalker.
Okay.
Voidwalker is like really critical in this matchup because it's going to protect all of your 1 health minions. So the Druid hero power is so efficient at just tearing through 1 health minions because you typically are only going to take 1 damage from them as well. That Voidwalker ends up being critical in this matchup.
Well, this curve looks ridiculous from what I see.
Yeah, this hand is going to be... This might just be a complete blowout. If Forsen doesn't end up drawing like a swipe or a wrath real quickly, or like even an innervate, this game just might even be over.
What about Wild Growth? Is that among the options?
That certainly is not like the worst draw in the deck at this point, because this is going to put out the Druid of the Claw on 5, or now on 4. But it looks like that was anticipated by Kitkatz. He held on the Abusive Sergeant last turn rather than getting an extra damage. That also could be to kind of hedge your bets against Swipe, though, as well. Not kind of overload your board with 1 health minions.
Well,
Speak of the devil.
Yeah, Swipe is a pretty nice card against Warlock. I mean, the goes around the Voidwalker thing you're talking about, but I don't think we'll see a play here. I think it's probably better to play a big taunt, don't you think?
I feel like it's kind of tough. If your opponent has Soulfire, the taunt is obviously worse. If your opponent has Power Overwhelming, it's worse. I actually wouldn't have mind Keeper here, I don't think. And just Keeper the 2/1.
No, it's Soulfire.
Oh, well. Speak of the devil. This is sort of like an interesting spot for Kitkatz, though, because he does have to risk discarding the Doomguard here.
I don't even think he's Soulfire. I think he Abusive.
I don't think you Soulfire either.
And Mortal Coil.
Yeah.
And then get swiped. Yep.
It looks about that way. Curiously, to play around that, could you instead... Now, this is definitely the right play.
Yeah, another swipe target.
I'm curious if you life tap or if you play the Argent here.
I think you life tap. And I'm wrong. Welcome to the casting business.
So, clearly that indicates he wants to play Doomguard next turn.
Yeah.
So we're looking now at Healing Touch is not too appealing this turn because you have to figure out a way to start cleaning up this board position.
I mean, what can you really do? The thing is, if you don't swipe, you're just taking so much more damage the following turn.
I agree.
I think it's just something you have to do.
What do you target with the swipe? Do you target the Voidwalker?
Targeting the Voidwalker actually removes the most damage for the next turn, I believe.
I think that's what he's got to do.
If you kill the Harvest Golem, you still take 2. The Voidwalker's still alive.
Yeah, and then you can't punch the 2/1 Golem either.
Right. I think the idea is just don't die this turn. Ancient of War next turn. Maybe find a turn of Healing Touch while doing something.
Yeah, I think it's your best play because that actually works perfectly. Because you swipe now, you gain 1 health from your hero power. You Ancient of War is a 5/10, and then on 8, on 8 you possibly Faceless that and then Healing Touch.
Yeah, I'm not so happy with that.
Yeah, I don't think this plays terrible by any means.
Yeah, I think it's
It's certainly your second best option.
it's a good option if you draw your other swipe.
Now the game's gonna be close. Unfortunately, he's discarding a Soulfire. That's one of the worst cards you can discard to Doomguard. I don't think he has another play though.
Well, you can Ancient of War, but it's most likely going to die. Oh, swipe. Hey there.
I don't think Swipe is the play this turn. I think you have to Ancient of War here.
Well, you can Faceless, and then Hero Ability, and then die. Never mind. Alright, yeah, Ancient of War it is.
Because he actually doesn't even have enough damage to punch through the Ancient of War this turn. That's just...
Well, he has to draw one more. I don't think that's that difficult.
I think the issue is that you're pumping your entire board and all of your investment so far into this one single card that your opponent's played, and then he's going to follow up with Healing Touch. And it's going to just... Like, this can blow... Whoa, that would have been a horrible misclick.
Would that get a do-over, you think?
Argus. Do they do this here? Argus is pretty good.
Pretty good? I'd go with ridiculous, but
yeah,
we can go with pretty good.
Yeah, I think mediocre.
Mediocre,
yeah.
Is it? Okay.
What do you Argus up here? I certainly don't think you Argus the Doomguard.
Let's see. I think you Argus Doomguard.
Well, your opponent hasn't played Keeper the whole game, so he might not think that his opponent even has Keeper. So if you Argus the Doomguard, the Doomguard's now at 2 health, but it can also be attacked. So like if Druid of the Claw Charge or something came in, but this way also plays around a top deck Keeper.
I think you Argus the Doomguard.
Fair enough.
I mean, it's by far your biggest creature. I think you need to try to keep it alive. I mean, 3 health versus... I mean, it's attacking the Ancient.
Yeah.
3 health versus 2 health, I think, is just a really big difference. Just because of the Keeper.
So you like Argus here?
Yeah. I think that's fair.
2 and 2.
Yep. You still have 2 taunts.
The positioning's a little unfortunate, but what can you do? So this turn looks like for certain that it's going to be Swipe and Healing Touch.
No, maybe not. It might be
can you swipe
a
Keeper
Faceless Innervate Swipe.
Faceless Innervate Swipe. I like that play as well. Faceless Innervate Swipe does lose to like Mortal Coil Leroy.
Yeah.
Can you put yourself in better shape? Can you prevent any top decks here?
Keeper Swipe is pretty good too. Keeper the Doomguard, Swipe the Argus. I think I like that better than Healing Touch.
Do you like Innervating for an extra health so that way Doomguard doesn't kill you? From the hero power?
I think I like that. Oh, you can also Doomguard and Healing Touch the Doomguard.
Oh.
But you can't kill their Doomguard.
I think that might be a little risky.
Alright.
Alright, so that is a very interesting attack. I do not agree with that. I think if you're going to copy this Doomguard, you have to start pressuring your opponent. But very lucky that he did so, because Shattered Sun Cleric and Defender of Argus come out. So maybe I'm the one who's wrong here. He's got to jam everything onto the board.
I think you're Healing Touch the Doomguard.
Wow. That's interesting. I think you do as well. Yeah, it's going to be... I don't know how he deals with this. Unless he just has Black Knight in his deck. Which we can see that he doesn't.
Nope. Kill that, and then Keeper the 3/2, and then Mark of the Wild the Keeper. Or not.
Yeah, I think you armor up here. Just get your extra health.
Or
and
lose
then
it.
Spend the extra health. All right, so wow. Ooh. That could have been game over. If he drew Doomguard there, that was game. How ridiculous is this deck? You're like, yeah, I always got cards to kill you, no matter what.
Oh.
Wow. You talk about power plays.
Yeah.
This is a Forsen power play right here. 10-10 taunt. coming out, stabilizing at 5 health.
I mean, there's no cards that really get through that.
No, there's nothing that gets through that in this particular.
I mean, we're down 1 Soulfire.
Yeah, that's just it. You definitely attack the Amati Berserker here.
I mean, you could kill the Amati Berserker while keeping your Keeper alive by attacking with the Keeper first, then the Druid.
Yeah, I think now's the time where you can finally start attacking your opponent. That Knife Juggler could get in 5 points, though.
Well, there's
Is that
another
a
one.
second Molten Giant?
Yeah.
That's an alright one.
Why spend mana?
Yeah, who needs it? You only have 10 of it.
None survive.
Let me ask you this. In this position, do you put your opponent to 12 and slam Deathwing if you have it? Go for the true spectacular. Yeah, that's gonna do it. There is no draws that are gonna bring Kitkatz out of this game.
I think there's a few. Alright, hold on, let's see.
So if he Soulfires, he puts his opponent to... Puts his opponent to 2, and then there's no draw that deals 2 direct damage.
Not to the opponent.
Yeah, that's definitely going to the face.
Well, it's going to go to the last game then. Just a little bit of play there. It's pretty interesting. I mean, Kitkatz is really confident with his play, and he, matched up against Forsen for the second time now, and for the second time now, they're going the distance, 5 games.
That's the best place to be. This is maximum pressure now for Kitkatz. He can avoid the sweep. He can win the match in Game 5 versus this crazy Molten Giant.
Look at what he's
Druid
got left.
deck.
It's Druid on Druid. Do you think the bigger creatures of Force... I mean, without going into details, the more than likely bigger creatures of Forsen's deck are going to push him ahead in this one?
It looks like there's a Black Knight in Kitkatz's Druid list here.
Does it?
That could have something to say.
You think
the
it might
matchup.
have everything to say? Because I'm looking at the other list as well, and I see the same card.
Well, there's no Ancients of War, and there's no Mark of the Wilds.
Well, there are.
Oh,
Mark of the Wilds.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more offensive. I can see that.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a great game.
Okay.
We're seeing 2 completely different approaches to Druid.
Would you like to wager that Forsen's going to win?
I would like to wager that Kitkatz is going to win.
No.
I say we make it interesting.
What do you have in mind? I'll let you think about it. Let's head out and see what they have to say.
We thought you were going to attack the
No,
guy.
I,
Yeah, we're like,
I was
no,
never
you're
gonna
get
attack
so
that.
far
There
range,
was
don't do it.
No way I was gonna attack that. Like, that would have.
We got scared.
Fucking...
It's alive. That was well played. Man, we were like...
Oh yeah, my start was.
We were like, oh my god, this hand is gonna be amazing if he gets wild growth. His curve is gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
He's gonna be fine. And then it was 1 turn too late, and we're like, he's gonna die. Like, I think he's dead. Like, his best chance is Druid of the Claw. Swipe looks good, but don't do it. Just do it. And you did, and then we're like,
Yeah. That was like at the dim guard, So. Yeah. Yeah, I know. That was. Yeah, I thought I played that perfectly.
yeah. Yep. Like, without a doubt. That was a hard game, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, why didn't you hit runner? Or runner at the end. We had triple runner out on the end.
No. To draw a card and then soul fired before I doom guarded.
So that actually might have been a good thing in retrospect. Like, you might just have to take the 50-50 on winning that game. It'll look stupid if you discard the Doom Guard. You'll be like, wow. And the caster will be like, wow.
Yeah, I thought about it.
At the same time, like, you had multiple opportunities to just draw Leroy and win the game, which is the problem with his deck.
Or doom guard.
Like, his deck just, like, there's just a percentage chance you're dead.
Yep.
Especially if we run things like Owl or Black Knight, which we didn't.
Yeah, if that Berserker were an hour or Black Knight.
Well, you're on Hunter's Mark. Where's your Hunter's Mark?
the Young Priestess didn't buff the Flame Imp right away.
Yeah.
So if you had turn 2 Wild Growth, you would have just been turn 3 Keeper, kill the Flame Imp.
Yeah, I know.
Game's blown out.
Yeah, I know.
Like, game would have just been, you would have just been
I was
top.
like, oh.
Druid next turn, the game would have just been over.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now he knows. Now he knows.
Yeah, now he knows for sure. I think he knew it before, like that I played Molten.
One of the Moltens at the end, but because Leo was only round 1.
Yeah, you're right.
He wanted to win.
I think, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, good luck in the Druid Mirror, if you can call it that.
Should I be afraid of his double Molten Giant deck?
DJ, who? Black Knight. I mean, you have answers for us. Come on. Yeah.
Stay tuned for more Fight Night.